What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 14 top DFS picks.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for this week's NFL slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NFL Week 14, let's take a look at the quarterback position. So my top DFS pick at the quarterback position is Tom Brady from the Tampa Bay Bucks playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have the 10th worst defense overall and they're middle of the pack defending opposing quarterbacks. Tom Brady has averaged 21.9 fantasy points per game on the season. He gets an average of 1.7 rush attempts per game, and he scored 27, 15, and 35 fantasy points in the last 3 games, projected at 23.4 fantasy points here in Week 14. He's $6,900 DraftKings salary and $900 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 51.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Tampa Bay Bucks favored by 6.5. But the Minnesota Vikings have been playing well recently, and I think they're going to keep this game pretty close. Tom Brady can put up a lot of fantasy points when the game is close. Should be a high-scoring game. It's a good matchup, so I like Tom Brady here versus the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. My top DFS pick at the running back position is Aaron Jones from the Green Bay Packers playing the Detroit Lions, who have the 3rd worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Aaron Jones has averaged 19.9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 14.5 rush attempts per game and 4.8 pass targets per game. He scored 27 fantasy points last week off of 15 rush attempts and 3 pass targets. He's projected at 18 fantasy points here in Week 14. He's $7,600 DraftKings salary and $1,100 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks this is going to be a super high-scoring game. 55 points scored in this game, with the Green Bay Packers favored by 7.5. So he's got a fantastic matchup. It's a super high-scoring game and a running game script. Matthew Stafford has been playing pretty well. He put up a ton of points last week. It looks like he's going to be able to keep up with the Green Bay Packers. So that's going to put pressure on the Packers to continue to score throughout 4 quarters. I think they're going to have the lead in this game, so it should be a running game script. So I like Aaron Jones here versus the Detroit Lions. Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. My top DFS pick at the wide receiver position is Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks playing the New York Jets, who have the 2nd worst defense overall, and they give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Tyler Lockett has averaged 17.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 8.4 pass targets per game. He's projected at 16.6 fantasy points here in Week 14, and he's $7,200 DraftKings salary and $700 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 47 points scored in this game, with the Seattle Seahawks favored by 13.5. So excellent matchup here. The New York Jets give up a ton of points to opposing wide receivers. They have a pretty good run defense, but their pass defense is not good at all. And we saw last week that the New York Jets can put points on the board, so they may keep this game closer than most people think. Although I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to be ahead in this game. With the New York Jets shutting down the running game, they're going to have to pass the ball. So I like Tyler Lockett here versus the New York Jets. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My top DFS pick at the tight end position is Hunter Henry from the LA Chargers playing the Atlanta Falcons, who have the 6th worst defense overall, and they give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Hunter Henry has averaged 9.8 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.5 pass targets per game. He's projected at 11.2 fantasy points here in week 14, and he's $4,400 DraftKings salary and $1,200 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 49.5 points scored in this game, and they have the Chargers trailing by 2.5. So you got an excellent matchup, and this is a bounce back game for Hunter Henry, who only scored 2 fantasy points off of 2 pass targets last game. But none of the Chargers scored many fantasy points last game because they were shut out by the New England Patriots defense. So this is a bounce back spot for the Chargers. They got a juicy matchup versus the Atlanta Falcons, a pretty high scoring game here, and a passing game script. So I like Hunter Henry here versus the Atlanta Falcons.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.